Okay. Hello and welcome to just a bit. Anyway, yeah. Today we are going to go ahead and talk about some things that are slightly interconnected that are all happening at once. Number one, the protests. Student protest that even staffers have joined. And there is slander against the protesters, calling them terrorists, comparing them to terrorists, proclaiming, oh, Israeli students don't feel safe. And there's already arrest and everything. Dumb fucks calling for National Guard to be called out. Stupid as shit. That's not how the right to free speech in the First Amendment works, dumbass. It's irritated me so much because these dumb fuckers are going, these people are not making people of Jewish heritage feel, they're making them afraid. Motherfucker. I'm sure there are bad, apples. Every fucking protest has them. It don't mean that's the whole group, though. God damn stupid fucks. But they want to call out, oh, they're terrorists, like they're evil. No. They're students exercising their First Amendment right to protest. Even at the Columbia protest, police said they were peaceful. There was no violence. And yet, they're being held as if they're the ones out there doing the fighting. In Palestine, Israel. It's annoying as fuck. Honestly, is what it is. But, yeah. Columbia, New York University, Yale, on the boil over Israelis' war on Gaza. What's going on? Classes will be held virtually on Monday amid mounting tension between pro-Palestinian and pro-Israeli protesters days after more than 100 students were arrested. Think about this. Arrested for protesting, non-violent. Even the police were like, yeah, it was a non-violent protest. Top United States university campuses, including Ivy League Yale and Ivy League Columbia, as well as New York University, are on the edge amid arrest of pro-Palestinian demonstrators on Monday and mounting tension between pro-Palestinian and pro-Israeli protesters over the war in Gaza. On Sunday, a prominent rabbi linked to Columbia University and its affiliated Barnard College, Eli Buchler, urged Jewish students at the institution to stay home due to extreme anti-Semitism. It's not anti-Semitism! Because they don't like genocide, they're suddenly anti-Semitic. Go fuck yourself! God damn it. Anyway. Fuckers. Colombia President Namat Minouche Shafiq announced in an official statement that all classes will be held virtually on Monday, and the faculty and staff who can work remotely should do so. Monday marks Passover, a major Jewish holiday. Over the past days, there have been too many examples of intimidating and harassing behavior on our campus. Anti-Semitic language, like any... How is it anti-Semitic? Are you proclaiming that it's anti-Semitic because from the river to the sea, Palestine shall be free? A thing that is also... Or from the river to the sea, which is also a saying in Israeli documents that is not Netanyahu set forth. It's not anti-Semitic. It's in their own fucking government documents, motherfucker. God damn it. Such bullshit. Such bullshit. On Monday, those tensions extended to Midtown Manhattan, where the NYU campus is based, and the Yale campus in New Haven, Connecticut. From Yale, 60 people, including at least 47 student protesters, were arrested for trespassing after they blocked traffic around campus, according to a statement by Yale University President Peter Salovey on Monday. Several protesters were also arrested from New York University. On Monday night, NYU released a statement saying the police urged those on the plaza to leave peacefully, but the police said it was peaceful protest. God damn it. There is such a goddamn wave of fucking bullshit by these pro-genocide loving fucks. Oh, god damn it, it pisses me off. NYU's student-run newspaper, Washington Square News, published an update at 9:30 p.m. local time saying all visible protesters have either dispersed or been arrested, adding that the arrested protesters were kept in zip ties and the tents in the encampment were completely removed. This is such... It's irritating. Beyond all fucking reason. The NYPD moved in on an encampment in NYU's Gold Plaza, preventing additional people from joining the protest. Several NYU students and faculty members were arrested by hundreds of policemen on charges of trespassing. Because again, not violent, motherfuckers. Helga Tawil Sauri, an associate professor of Middle East and Islamic Studies at NYU, told Al Jazeera as she stood outside a police station awaiting the release of several students and faculty members. I don't know how we trespass on our own campus! Tawil Sauri said the protest was peaceful. I have been at NYU for almost 20 years and I've seen a number of protests happening. I don't think I've ever seen a crackdown of this nature. So yeah, again, it's just powers that be that love fucking genocide that are like, don't allow them protest. That makes us feel in danger. God damn it. Earlier, on April the 18th, New York police arrested more than 100 Palestinian protesters from Colombia on charges of trespassing. Again, trespassing because they can't say it's violence. They can't say it's a fucking assault because it isn't. There's no violence. No indication of fucking violence. They have said, yeah, it was peaceful protest. The only thing they can do? Trespassing, I guess. Several students were also suspended from Columbia and Barnard, which sits across Broadway from Columbia's main campus in Morningside Heights, including Isra Hirsi, the daughter of Ilhan Omar, a Democrat in the U.S. House of Reps. Yeah, it was shameful what they did to her, suspending her for, exercising her First Amendment right. You'll hear people whine and bitch if there's pushback on the Second Amendment. But you try to exercise your First Amendment rights? Fuck you! You don't have rights! A range of student groups are behind the protest. At Columbia, the so-called Gaza Solidarity Encampment has been organized by the student-led coalition Columbia University Apartheid Divest, Students for Justice in Palestine, and Jewish Voice for Peace! Trying to end genocide. And they're people of Jewish heritage. They are not being fucking anti-Semitic. God. Fucking. There's so much bullshit. The protesters are calling for Columbia to divest from corporations that profit from Israel's war on Gaza. The CUAD, Columbia University Apartheid Divest, website lists additional demands calling for the financial transparency about Columbia's investments and the severing of academic ties and collaborations with Israeli universities and programs. The groups are also calling for a complete ceasefire in Gaza. And I watched some dumb fuck, I don't remember who it was, on one of the mainstream bullshit news companies. They called for a ceasefire. That's not peace. They don't have peace. They literally made that argument. Dear God. Why? Why? In NYU, the encampment was organized by the NYU Palestine Solidarity Coalition, a newly formed on-campus group comprising students and faculty from Students for Justice in Palestine, Faculty for Justice in Palestine, Law Students for Justice in Palestine, Shut It Down NYU, Jews Against Zionism, and more than 20 other on-campus groups. Many people cry, oh, if you're anti-Zionist, you're anti-Semitic. No, motherfucker. How can you be Jewish and anti-Zionist if it's supposedly being anti-Semitic? These fuckers love making these accusations that make no goddamn sense. None. Whatsoever. Being anti-Zionist is not anti-Semitic. Get over it. The NYU Alumni for Palestine website details a list of demands in an open letter to New York University's leadership, which was signed by 2,410 alumni. These include the condemnation of the killing of Palestinian civilians, the protection of students and faculty who are speaking up for Palestine against harassment, and divestment from companies and institutions active in the Israeli occupation and genocide in Palestine. Yeah. And yet you've got these fucks who have too powerful of a voice. Donnie Deutsch, MSNBC. It's been anti-Semitic. Or Robert Kraft. It's not the Columbia I recognize. I'm not donating to it because it's being anti-Semitic. No, it's not, you dumb fuck some bitches. Goddamn. Additionally, the alumni letter calls on NYU leadership to shut down NYU's Tel Aviv campus, which bars Palestinian students, faculty, and affiliates from accessing academic opportunities at the site because of their ethnicity, contradicting NYU's principles of academic freedom and egalitarianism. The letter calls on leadership to reevaluate the involvement of NYU, particularly its Tandon School of Engineering, in arms research and development, and to cease collaboration with arms manufacturers. The encampment at Yale has been continuing since Friday, with protesters demanding that Yale divest from military weapons manufacturers. You know, this is a reasonable, a human call for peace, for ceasefire, and for aid. It is your fucking First Amendment right to protest. Like I said, it seems like there's any pushback against guns or gun manufacturers. Oh, that Second Amendment right, you're attacking my Second Amendment rights. But they try to protest not a damn word about their First Amendment rights. At least 34,000 people have died in Gaza as a result of Israel's unrelenting bombardment of the beleaguered enclave and its ground assault. I've even heard numbers as high as 41,000. It's more or less a small city. 34,000 to 41,000 people. That's a pretty damn good size population of people that have just been mauled, genocided, ethnically cleansed. And Netanyahu and his shit fucking government is sitting there crying, we're going to do this until we get all of Hamas to surrender. Motherfucker! The leadership is in the UAE. But you don't give a shit, do you? Anyway. Let's look at another one here. Yeah, from the 2024 Columbia University pro-Palestinian campus occupation. So yeah, they began on April the 17th, 2024. It's now April the 24th, 2024. You know, remember when people attacked the DBS movement, divest, boycott, sanction? There were states that made laws saying no, it's terrorist activity. You're not allowed to do such a thing. And yet, it's Israel that is committing genocide. Yeah, I agree. The arrest marked the first time the university has allowed police to suppress campus protest since the 1968 demonstrations against the Vietnam War. You know, 4 dead in Ohio when the fucking National Guard killed student protesters. We're at that goddamn level again. Seriously. We're at the fucking killings. I think it was on Kent State campus in Ohio. But yeah, there's a Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young song. 4 dead in Ohio. We're back to that period. Luckily, there hasn't been any authorities killing students yet, killing protesters. We don't want to get to that point, but damn, it feels too fucking familiar. Yeah. Campus occupation has been organized by Columbia University Apartheid Divest, a student-led coalition of over 120 groups together with Students for Justice in Palestine, Jewish Voice for Peace. Again, you want to claim it's anti-Semitic, but there's some Jewish protesters. In fact, there's quite a few. But all you hear from the mainstream media, it's anti-Semitic. Oh Lord! Fuck you all. Fuck you all. Yeah. It's such goddamn bullshit. But yeah. Let's better mode this.
Protests against Israel's war on Gaza are growing at universities across the U.S. These are the scenes at Columbia University, where students are camping out despite dozens of arrests on Monday. Students from Massachusetts to California are calling for universities to cut ties with U.S. companies that profit from the war. Kristen Salumi is joining us from outside Columbia University. So despite the arrests, Kristen, more protests.
Yeah. This is from Al Jazeera English. And they're covering it. And they're showing, yeah, the students, the faculty members, they want this to end. But our fucking people in power love licking BB's balls so goddamn much.
Absolutely. It's a bit quieter today than it was last night when the campus was very animated and loud, and there were rumors of the encampment being cleared yet again, and demonstrators showed up outside of the campus as well as on the campus to support the cause of.
Yeah, there's even been mention of union groups coming and backing the protesters. But too many of these fucks in power are trying to cry and cry and cry and whine. Oh, it's anti-Semitic. It's dangerous to Jewish people. God damn it.
Of ceasefire in Gaza. Today, you can see behind me, there's still a massive police presence here. There's barricades set up all around the campus to try to keep things calm. And we are joined now by a professor, a faculty member here.
Before they talk to the professor, there's a reason I point out in so many of my videos when I have been talking about the conflict. It's not a fucking war. That my qualms are with the government and the IDF of Israel. Even though there's some everyday citizens that are guilty of a lot, you do not include the citizens. Your qualms should never be with the ordinary people. But yeah, let's continue on listening here.
A lecturer, Bassam Khawaja, who's with the law school. Thank you so much for coming and giving us the latest information. I know dozens of faculty came out on Monday to support and protest the arrests of the students. Do you think they represent the majority of faculty here?
It's hard to say if they represent the majority, but a number of faculty are really furious that the university president made the decision to call New York City's police department onto campus, a police department with a history of brutality. This was made opposed to the Senate, the University Senate, that objected to this happening. We are really furious. 100 of us came and stood on the steps a few days ago to protest this decision. 54 members of the law school's permanent faculty wrote directly to the president objecting to it, and so there's quite a bit of anger among the faculty, even among people who don't support the protesters, of the fact that the New York City Police Department was brought in against what is essentially a peaceful protest, students camping out on a lawn.
Yeah, you mentioned the Columbia Senate. Who is involved in the Columbia Senate? And there were some rumors of a censure resolution against the President Shafiq because of the way the police were called in. Is that correct? What's the latest there?
Yeah, so the University Senate is made up of faculty, students, administrators. The president is required to consult the Senate prior to bringing in the police. She did that, the Senate rejected it, and she went ahead anyways. By all accounts, now she is up for a censure by the Senate, and I think that reflects the extent of the anger on the campus against this decision.
Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Yeah. I mean, so even trying to follow by campus law, she basically bypassed what is supposed to be a governing body. There should have been no call to police. There's definitely no fucking reason to call the National Guard, as some fucks have tried to whine and cry for. Period. The fact is, they're exercising their First Amendment right to gather and address grievance. Other words, protest. But yeah.
Representative Mike Johnson due to visit the campus this afternoon. He's going to meet with Jewish students and speak to the media about what he calls the rising anti-Semitism on college campuses. Would you agree that there is rising anti-Semitism?
I think anti-Semitism has no place on our campus. We need to be really clear about that. At the same time, we need to be clear that advocating for Palestinian human rights is not in itself anti-Semitic. And I would encourage Speaker Johnson to go to the encampment to meet with protesters there, many of whom are Jewish. I saw them holding a Passover Seder there a few days ago. And I think if he's going to be speaking with Jewish students on campus, he should make sure to speak with all of them, that people representing all views on campus.
and the governor, Kathy Hochul, has been here as well. There's been concerns raised about the National Guard being called in. Is that something that you're hearing? What are students talking about feeling, and do you feel the commitment that they're going to stay despite this 48-hour deadline?
The students, many of them are committed to staying in the encampment. There's been a lot of rumors swirling about the New York Police Department, the National Guard coming back in. Looking around, it seems very difficult to justify that. Again, these are students peacefully camping out on the lawn. When I've been there, most of the time they're studying, and so the idea of calling in troops to a campus where, again, this is a peaceful protest just seems way above the mark in terms of what's justified here. The school has been very vague when they've raised security concerns about what it is they're talking about, and it should be a very high bar to bring in police on your own students.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us the latest here. I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon. You heard it there from a lecturer here at Columbia University. This is where it all started, this latest wave of college demonstrations that we're seeing expand across the country, with the University of Texas holding a sit-in. The Brown University now also has an encampment on their campus. And about a dozen others, at least, across the country now, with pro-Palestinian rallies taking place.
Kristen Salimi talking to us from New York.
Yeah. So, like I said, this is spreading. You know, these students feel their voices are not being heard or being taken seriously, and so you're seeing a growing movement on campuses in the U.S. You know, and honestly, you need to fucking listen to the youth. This is the biggest generation since the fucking boomers. And they're going to be able to vote for a long time now. But what you're doing is basically pissing in their eye and telling them it's raining. You know, they need to shut the fuck up because they don't know what they're talking about. Motherfucker, you need to shut the goddamn fuck up if you're a pro-goddamn genocide. Yeah. And this connects because, yeah, Mike Johnson, he passed a bill by taking several funding bills for Ukraine, for Taiwan, and for, yes, Israel, billions to all in aid to these countries. And then he comes to Columbia, and of course the students boo him. And he deserves to be booed. Yeah. Columbia University students heckled House Speaker Mike Johnson on Wednesday as he visited the flashpoint of nationwide student demonstrations over the Israeli war in Gaza, even as the New York school agreed to 48 more hours of negotiations to end a protest encampment. Johnson's visit, which he said was meant to support Jewish students intimidated by some anti-Israeli demonstrators, took place shortly after the university extended a deadline from Wednesday morning to Friday morning to reach an agreement to remove an encampment that has come to symbolize the campus protest movement. Yeah. But students are making it clear, you know, we want peace. We want ceasefire. There needs to be aid taken to Gaza. But no, all you hear from certain others, it's anti-Semitic. Oh God, it's anti-Semitic. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. The Senate overwhelmingly passes aid for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan with a big bipartisan vote. You know, this spent months languishing. They couldn't get it all together through the House, but in separate groups, and then they tie it together and send it to the Senate. It passes. Fucking hell, man. What the fuck is wrong with fucking leaders in society in this country anymore? Number one, we need to get rid of groups like APAC and NORPAC who just want Zionism. And again, being anti-Zionist is not being anti-Semitic. You know, all I want to see is an equal, fair treatment between the peoples. They shouldn't be forced out. Overwhelmingly, the majority, the great majority of Gazans, of all Palestinians, are peaceful. But these fuckers in the Netanyahu government are like, we want them to be aggressive and angry, and, you know, the more they like Hamas, the more we can go, see, they wanted destruction and death all along. And that's how it's going. You need to get in there and physically backfist Netanyahu into his chair. Have him drugged from the room. All his government people dragged out of power, and allow a new election with no Likud party. Because clearly, nothing's going to happen otherwise. You know, I'm not pro-aggressive, but of all conflicts, it's the Likud party and Netanyahu who have by far pushed the most, of which needs to be forcefully removed. I'm not saying kill them. I'm saying go in, handcuff them, lead them out. And then take them to the ICC. The Hague, you know, and let international justice be passed. Period. That's just what needs to be done. Otherwise, it's just going to be more money and weapons to allow them to continue an unreasonable genocide. It's not been a fucking self-defense for months. But I know they'll cry, oh, it's defense against Hamas. No, motherfucker. No, it's not. It hasn't been self-defense for fucking months now. God damn it. And we know, if you aren't following the goddamn mainstream bullshit news, then you will probably understand that, yes, there has been an attempt to take land from Palestinians and eventually have it all in the possession of Israel. That should not be what happens. You know, the Palestinians were already living there. You can cry as much as you want and say, Jewish people were there before. I don't give a goddamn. I don't give a goddamn. I'm going to pull a little something up here. Let's see if I have it here. Yeah, here we go. This is from My Jewish Learning. Ultra Orthodox and anti Zionist. While most ultra Orthodox Jews oppose Zionism in some way, groups like Neturei Karta and Satmar Hasidim do not recognize the modern state of Israel because it is against what they believe. But are they called anti-Semitic? I'm waiting. Where's it at? Come on, motherfuckers. Are they anti-Semitic? Let me hear it. Nothing. Of course. Yeah. But the anti-Zionist worldview of the ultra-Orthodox groups Neturei Karta and Satmar Hasidim perceive Zionism as the establishment of the State of Israel as an anti-messianic act conceived and born from sin. These groups vigorously deny the very legitimacy of the collective political return to the Holy Land and to Jewish sovereignty. For them, this is the handiwork of humans violating the Jewish people's oath of political quietism. Yeah. Think about it. This proclamation that being anti-Zionist is anti-Semitic, biggest bunch of goddamn bullshit. In the words of Midrash, as expounded by Rashi, the people were adjured not to return collectively to the land of Israel by the exertion of physical force, nor to rebel against the nations of the world, nor to hasten the end. In short, they were required to wait for the heavenly, complete, miraculous, supernatural, and meta-historical redemption that is totally distinct from the realm of human endeavor. This waiting over 2 millennia manifests the very essence and singularity of the Jewish people, expressing their faith in divine providence in the assurance of the prophets and in messianic destiny. So yeah. Right there, that should tell you. Being against the genocide that Israel's committing, being anti-Zionist, neither of those are anti-Semitic. But yeah. See, even they have it. Free Palestine in Israeli occupation. The Likud party and Netanyahu are shameful. What they're doing is war crimes. Look, do I agree Hamas is evil? Yes, what they did was complete evil. But it did not signify the need for genocide. In fact, the only time some of the hostages came back were during the ceasefire. Israel's done nothing but level any possible ways of housing Gazans in Gaza. It's not defense. It's goddamn genocide. It's ethnic cleansing. But yeah, this has went on long enough as a video. It's almost 50 minutes long at this point. Anyway, I'll end this here. I'll be posting these links for you all with the video. But yeah, as always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Someone tells you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I'll be putting links in the description box below the video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.